Icky Thump, what a chump, by the White Stripes. This is a great song. A lot of people know this song, might love it, they might hate it. I personally love it. I hope you do too. It is what I would call an intermediate song. Some parts are easy and some parts are a little bit tricky, but I think you can do this. Pretty simple. Then there's a lot of videos on this. I'm actually going to include the solo on it, at least my attempt at the solo. So we'll get to that in a few minutes. To begin with, it starts with an E power chord, which is of course an open E string, A and D string, 2nd fret. It does that for 7 beats, and then the 8th beat is open fat strings, and then an open D chord, which is going to be your D string open, and then the G string 2nd fret, the B string 3rd fret, and you'll pretty much leave off that high E string. You just kind of mute it with your ring finger there. So 7 times. And after he does the D chord, he lets that first beat ring out, so he doesn't chop it off. The rest of them he chops off kind of quick, so it's something like this. So let that ring out. In fact, you would say beat number 2 is kind of just stopping that that ringing note there. So that's it. He sings over the top of that, and as far as your lead up into that D chord, you know, sometimes it's a little bit of clicking and a little bit more playing there. Other times it's just, and it's whatever you want to do. Certainly don't have to match exactly what's on the album. Jack never does. He plays it, of course, all of his songs a little bit different every time. So that's the main riff of the song, and then it goes into what we will call the chorus, even though there's no singing on it. So let's talk about that. I'll just play the notes real quick. You're going to be on the D string 7th fret, 5th, 4th, open. So all on the D string, 7, 5, 4, open. And then you're going to go 5th fret of the A string. Now that note is the same as the open D string. It's a D. See, those are the same. So you're really playing that D note twice, but in 2 different locations. First the open D string, and then the 5th fret of the A string. Then you go to the 4th fret of the A string, 5th fret of the E string. So let's do that again. So 7, 5, 4, open, and then 5 of the A, 4 of the A, 5 of the E. Okay? Now, you don't just pluck each one of those notes, you add a little bit of life to it. For instance, the very first note, you're going to slide up into it and chop it off pretty quick. And then you're going to pluck the 5th fret of that D string, but then just roll off to 4, and then roll off to open, all kind of in one sexy move. And then you're going to hit that 5, 4 of the A, and then 5 of the E. Now that is a D note, that's a C sharp, that's an A. And remember that, because I want to mention that in just a minute. Now after that, you're going to hit a G power chord, and it kind of lingers for just a second. And I also like to stretch it just a little bit. So just give it a little bit of a pull there to add a little bit of character to that. Okay, and then it plays that same thing over. So that's going to be slide up to the 7 on the D, 5-4, roll down from 5 to 4, and then open. And then you're going to go, so that's going to be the G string 7, 6, D string 7. Now you know what notes those are? That's a D, a C sharp, and an A. Exact same notes as before, just an octave higher. By the way, did I mention after the G it goes to an E power chord? I don't think I mentioned that, but it do. And then the last part of the song is, so that's going to be a D power chord up to an E power chord, back and forth a couple of times at just a slightly different pace, and then slide from that E down. So you'll start to see patterns throughout this song, as is true of most songs. So D to E, and down here we were playing E to D. So that's the E and D making up the song, and then here you've got D and E making up part of the song. Here you've got those notes being repeated right here. So again, adding bends and sliding into those notes, chopping them off, rolling off, that's how you create the feel of Icky Thump. Next is the little bridge that is in there. Now remember when we, remember those notes? D, C sharp, A. Well, that's the exact same spot that the bridge starts at. So you're just doing that, so you're going 7, 6, 7, then you move up 2 frets, so now you're going to go 9, 8, 9, then you move up 1 fret, 10, 9, 10, up to 12, 12, 11, 12. So those same 2 strings, so that's 7, 6 of the G to 7 of the D. Same little pattern, 2 frets up, same little pattern, 1 fret up, same little pattern, 2 frets up, okay? So those frets again are, you start on the 7, and then you start on the 9, and then the 10, and then the 12. And what you can do is add, and I'm going to show you my new pedal. My wife got me this for anniversary. She got me a lot of things for anniversary this year. I think Ike helped her pick them out. She got me a triple graph from Third Man Records, which is, of course, among other things, an octave generator, and it can generate a dry signal and a sub octave, or a dry signal and an up octave, and it can do a few other things as well. But I'll turn on the up octave, and that's what I do during this part of the song, so it sounds something like this. You can also use the sub octave and see what that sounds like. Now you'll notice I'm playing that, I'm not going cluck, 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 cluck. I'm just rolling off and then hammering onto that 7th fret of the fatter string. You can also do all 3 of them. So now, right now, I've got both pedals activated, and that gives you dry, up, and sub. So, you can do anything you want there. Create sound. That's what Jack is doing. He's creating a little tension, he's creating attitude, he's changing it up a little bit. And so do that. Now don't go out and buy a triple graph just so you can play that. You will need a whammy to play the guitar solo. I will tell you that. So if you've got a whammy, you can use that. It's a little trickier to change what you're doing with the whammy pedal. You actually have to turn knobs, and you don't want to do that in the middle of a song. Now, I also have a Pog generator. I'm all about octaves, apparently. I didn't realize this, but I've got 3 pedals that are octave shifters, and so I love each one of them, and I can't get rid of any of them, and I can't even take them off my pedal board. So I love them, and the Pog generator by Electro Harmonics is a great pedal. I've had it forever, and I use it a lot. So you can do that as well. So anything to create that octave sound you can do for this song. So that's where it starts with the bridge. Then it goes back to the same thing we've already talked about. Really, the only thing left now is the solo. So get ready, folks. We're going to play the solo. Okay, so a couple of things. The background of the solo is just the same, you know, 7 hits and then the D. So that's going on in the background during the solo. And I also have on my phone, it's a little app for, you know, tabs and learning songs, and it's got the background music of this solo, so I'll be playing that in the background while I play the solo over it, because the solo by itself is not that attractive. And so you put it all together, though, and it is a quintessential Jack White, right? So I also set up another camera that shows my whammy, so you can see when I'm activating that, because it's off and on all throughout the solo. So let's go. I'll play through it one time, and bear in mind, you know, as is the case with Jack White, it's just it's organized chaos is what it is with Jack. And so I don't know how close this is. It sounds close enough. I'd play this on a stage if somebody'd ask me to. And so maybe it's good enough for you. You could pick it apart, absolutely. I've seen this song on other videos, you know, people showing how to play it. I've never seen the solo, so this is my attempt at it. It might be out there. I didn't look that hard, but maybe somebody does this, and maybe it's better than mine. But this is my attempt. I've got my big muff on and my whammy pedal ready to go. Well, there you go. Love it or hate it, I don't know, but that's my attempt at the solo of Icky Thump. So here's what I do. I am on the B string. That would be the 17th fret. That's where I start that thing with my whammy pedal fully engaged. So I just hit that 17th fret. We'll drop it down to the regular tone and then back up. And what you can do if you want to is bend that up while you're bringing down the pedal, and it just adds again a little bit more of that, the weirdness throughout that solo. And then this is not the sound that is made on the album, but it's how I replicate it. I hit the open E string and then do that. It sounds sort of like something being played in reverse if you listen to it slowly and carefully. The only way I can get close is so. And then I go from the 17 up to the, what is that, 22? 17, 19, 21 of the E string. And then I bend the 21, and then I bend the 18 on the E string. And then I hit, that's just a weird sound that I'm again trying to duplicate, and that is 19 of the E, 20 of the B. And you just hit that, while at the same time in the background, maybe you heard it or it's in the song, there's also just a little bit of keyboard that kind of goes dun 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 dun, and over the top of that you hear that. So from the top I go. So that's 21, 18, and then 19 and 20 on the E and B strings respectively. And then with my whammy still engaged, I go. So you're going to kind of slide up to the 9th fret of the E string and then 10th fret of the A string. This is one of the hardest parts for me to actually get right. I think there's just more going on than what I can do. And you know, you can... I've done it myself where I've recorded myself playing something and I've gone back and, hey, I like that, and I don't know how to even duplicate it, and I'm the one that did it. So... So that is 9 and then 10 of the E and A strings. And that's going to be the 8th fret of the D string with your whammy pedal engaged. See what I'm doing there? So that's all just on that 10th fret. And again, he may, you know, you can also kind of slide up or down at the same time that you're whamifying there. So this is, I'm on the 10 of the E, 11 of the B, and I hit it dry, and I bend up the B string the same time that I'm actuating the whammy pedal. And I do the same thing now on the 12 of the B and 14 of the G. Now we're going to go 15 to 17 on the B, and then back to the 15, back to the 17, and wiggle it. Now you're going to go 17 of the E, 19 of the B. You're going to bend up the B string. And then you're going to go, let's see, did I say that right? 15, 17, 19, yeah, 19 of the B. And then from the 17 to the 19, a time or two there on the B string. So 17, bend the 19, back to the 17. So that is, again, no pedal, no whammy pedal. Bend up the 17. And then hit the 17 unbent. And then you're going to go 15, 14. Twice. 17 of the B. Staying on that 17 of the B. Now he may not, you know, there, by the way, in this song, as I have intimated, there's a half a dozen different ways you can create these very similar sounds. So, you know, this here is the same as that note. So you want to play it down there, play it down there. You want to play it up here on the B string 17, the E string 12. It's all the same thing. It's just kind of where your fingers are comfortable and where your ear bone's comfortable. So we left off there 17 of the B, and then you're going to go. So that is 17 of the B, and then after you hit it the first time, you stretch it up with your whammy. And you end on the 16 of the G. And then this one is 14, 15, 17. and then right back down, 14, 15, 17, 15, 14 of the E. You can also do the same thing up here, 19, 20, 19, 20. That is 22. So earlier I said that was a 21st fret, it's a 22nd fret. I always play it down here. This does have a slightly different tone, but not much. And then the very last lick, which is my favorite lick, you're going to bend up the 15 of the B and then hit it unbent. And then the 13 to 12. Back to 13, back to 12. You hit the 12 one more time, then the 13, then the 12. That is the 14 of the G, 12 of the G, 14 of the D. So anyway, that is my rendition of Icky Thump. I hope that it helps you a little bit. Take it, make it your own, improve on what I said, and play this song. Over and out, friends, from my easy chair. Catch you next time.